What we'll do today, I'll just review triangle and revolve triangle when we get to that point. But why don't you stand and we'll get started right away. So come to the top of your mat. Get your feet about hip width apart. The exact distance doesn't really matter. You may find that with your feet a little bit farther apart, your forward folds will be easier because the way your femurs come into your pelvis might make that more comfortable or make it more accessible. Anyway, from here, stand up tall. Begin by focusing on the invisible horizon out there somewhere in front of your eyes. Lift and set your toes down, but spread them wide. From there, draw your feet toward each other isometrically so that you can feel all the muscles in your legs. Take your upper inner thighs, roll them towards the back, and then tuck your tailbone under, tilting your hips back, tilting your pelvis back. That helps your sacrum and your lumbar spine. Inhale your shoulders up towards your ears, then towards the back so that your shoulder blades kiss, and let them just drizzle down your back. And notice what direction your palms are naturally. They may be facing out towards the front of you. They might be flat on your hips. Doesn't matter, but that's a function of the way that your humerus sets into your shoulder socket. Take the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. Tuck your chin in just a little bit. Now take your upper abdomen and just tuck that in a little bit. Maybe just take a finger right on your solar plexus. Just tuck that in just a tiny bit. And breathe in and out through your nose. Keep those muscles engaged and add in your mula bandhas, your pelvic floor muscles, your Kegel muscles. Those are the muscles that keep all your organs confined within your body as you stand. Keeping your mula bandhas engaged, engage your uddiyana bandhas, your lower abdomen, halfway between your navel and your pubic bone. And feel your breath moving more into your chest. Maybe you can feel your ribs lift and separate. Keep those engaged. And add to that your Jalalahara bandhas, the back of your throat. That will close off some of the air coming into your lungs and add sound to your voice. With every breath in through your nose, listen and feel that air swirling around through all the cavities of your sinuses, getting cleaned, moistened, and warmed in preparation to going into your lungs. In and out through your nose is the most efficient way to breathe. You're actually increasing the pressure in your lungs so that you absorb 15% more oxygen with each breath than you would if you breathe through your mouth. Feel the heat. If your eyes are closed, open them now. And inhale, bring your arms out wide and up overhead. Gaze up, get a slight back bend, and then let your arms float back down by your sides. Inhale, arms up overhead again, palms together. Let your hands float all the way back down. Inhale all the way back up. And exhale, this time, swan dive all the way over with bent legs. Your knees can be bent a little or a lot. And over the next 5 or so breaths, with each inhale, straighten your legs. And exhale, forward fold a little bit more. This is stretching your hamstrings, stretching your back, getting you ready for practice. On your next inhale, come up halfway, gaze at the horizon, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, arms up overhead, and palms heart center, Samasthiti. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold, swan dive all the way over. You have another opportunity to stretch your hamstrings. Maybe straighten one leg and then the other. Maybe you twist a little bit. But with each exhale, try to forward fold a little bit more. On your next inhale, come up halfway, gaze at that horizon. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, arms overhead, and hands to Samasthiti. Listen carefully. This time, inhale, arms overhead, and pause here. Grab your left wrist with your right hand. Bring all your weight into your left leg. And then begin to turn to the right. Side bend to the right. You can push that left hip out. Keep that left arm over your left ear. Maybe you can even look up at the eye of your elbow. You don't want to make this into a twist. You ought to be able to feel this all the way down to your ankle. Inhale, come all the way back up. Left hand on right wrist. And then left side bend. If you have your phone on, please turn it off. Put it on airplane. Really stretch that right arm long, pulling with your left hand. 5, inhale, come all the way back up. Exhale, it's by your side. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold, swan dive all the way over. You pause here for a moment. With your right hand down, bring your left arm out to the side and up, twisting. Then you can gaze up at your left hand, which is on the ceiling tile directly above your head. And 5, exhale, left hand down, right hand up on the inhale. Your right hand can be, or right leg can be straight. And exhale, left hand, right hand all the way back down. Inhale, come up halfway, gaze at the horizon. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Arms overhead and hands to Samasthiti. Okay, so now we get the Namaskara A's. So come to Tadasana. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step or jump back to plank. and hold here. Draw your upper arms toward each other. Isometrically rotate your fingers towards each other. We're staying here about 10 breaths. On the cover of Lifestyle this morning was a picture of Bob Smalley, who also does water skiing and then the Firm It Up class. He can hold in plank for over 3 minutes. Your knees can come down at any time. And then when you're ready, come all the way down onto your belly, hands next to your chest, toenails down. Inhale, lift up by pushing your hands into the mat, into Cobra, and then curl your toes under. Lift your hips up and back into Down Dog. Then walk out your dog. Four and five. Look between your hands, hop, step, or float to the front of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, arms overhead, and hands to Samasthiti. Okay, now that your shoulders are awake, we'll just go through 3 straight Nam A's. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step or jump back to plank. Come down halfway. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. And rest here for 5 minutes. 5 minutes. 5 breaths. Four and 5. Look between your hands. Hop, step, or float. Front of your mat, forward fold. Inhale up halfway, gaze at the horizon. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Arms overhead. And hands to Samasthiti. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step and jump back to plank. We come down halfway. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Slow down your breathing. And 5, between your hands, hop, step, or float. To the front of your mat, forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, arms overhead. And hands to Samasthiti. One more. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step or jump back to plank. Down halfway. Inhale forward to up dog. Exhale, down dog. Really work to slow down your breathing. That will calm your body. And 5, look between your hands, hop, step, or float to the front of your mat, forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, arms overhead. And hands to Samasthiti. Okay, now we have a Namaskara B. So in between the vinyasas are the warrior ones. So come to the Tadasana. Then on an inhale, drop your seat. Raise your hands to Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold over straight legs. Inhale up halfway, gaze at the horizon. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step or jump back to plank. Come down halfway. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Turn that left foot out right away. Step the right foot forward. And inhale, lift your chest up. Arms up to warrior one. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step back to plank. Down halfway. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Right foot turns out. 45. Step the left foot forward. Inhale, up, warrior one. Right back down. Exhale, back to plank. Down halfway. Inhale, down dog. Exhale, down dog. And rest here for 5 breaths. Take a breath and take a break. Capture your breath. In 5, look between your hands. Hop, step, or float. Forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, drop your seat. Raise your arms up, Utkatasana. Rise all the way up, arms overhead. And hands to Samastitihi. This time, we'll be pausing for 5 breaths in each of the warrior ones and do a humble warrior. So, on your next inhale, drop your seat, raise your arms up, Utkatasana. Exhale, forward fold over straight legs. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step or jump back to plank, down halfway. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Turn that left foot out. Step the right foot forward. Inhale up to warrior one. And pause here for 5 breaths. Work on your form here. Pinky toe is down. That right knee is right over your ankle. Hips face the front of your mat. 4, 5. Exhale, arms float down and behind you. Interlace your fingers however you wish. Push palms down, lifting your chest high. And exhale, forward fold to humble warrior inside that right knee. Maybe you can get your shoulder down to the elevation of your knee. Your gaze is back at your left foot. And your hands are up towards the ceiling. And 5, inhale, arms release, come all the way back up to warrior one. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step back to plank. Down halfway. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. The right foot turns out. Left foot comes forward. Inhale, come all the way up to warrior one. Work on your form. Now that right foot can move out to the side, to the right, so that your hips are square. In 5, allow your hands to float all the way down. Interlace your fingers the wrong way, the way that feels different. Push your hands down, lift your chest high. And exhale, fold forward into humble warrior. And again, gaze is back at your right foot. Your palms reach up for the ceiling. Four. And 5. Release your hands down. Raise them all the way back up to warrior one. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step back to plank. Down halfway. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. And rest here for 5 breaths. And 5, look between your hands, hop, step, or float, forward fold. Inhale up halfway, gaze at that horizon. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, drop your seat. Inhale, your arms high, rise all the way up, arms overhead, and hands to Samasthiti. Okay, step that out. Next we have Paragustasana and Paragustasana. Foot, big toe pose, and then foot to palm pose. So come to Tadasana and hop your feet wide. Inhale, your arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Grab onto your big toes with your peace fingers. Inhale, come up as much as you can. Maybe you can gaze at the horizon. And then forward fold, exhale. And try to draw the crown of your head down towards the mat. Try to straighten your legs. But get some tension into your shoulders, your wrists, and your forearms by pulling on your toes. 5, release. Inhale, come up halfway, gaze at the horizon. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, arms overhead, and hands to Samasthiti. This time your palms go underneath the soles of your feet. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Get your palms underneath your feet. Maybe your big toes can come all the way to your hip crease, maybe not. Inhale, straighten out your back. Straighten your legs, stretching your arms. And then exhale, bend your elbows, drawing the crown of your head down as you straighten your legs. 4, 5, release. Inhale, come up halfway, gaze at that horizon. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, arms overhead, and hands to Samasthiti. Jump your feet back together. And now we have another vinyasa to keep your heat going. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, up halfway. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step or jump back to plank and down halfway, all at the exhale. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Four. And 5, look between your hands, hop, step, or float to the front of the mat, forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, arms overhead, and hands to Samasthiti. Okay, now what I threatened, we're going to just do a real mini workshop on triangle. So for triangle, about half the Ashtanga instructors ask you to jump your feet wide. My feet they're not predictable enough. How's that? I like to just take a giant step back with my left foot. Your toes should be facing the side of your mat. Your front leg, right leg, your toe is facing the front wall. From here, put your hands on your hips and turn exactly towards the side of your mat. This is theoretically the direction that you go, but you can't unless you have a slight twist. So maybe from this point, Draw your right hip back, maybe 2 inches. That's it. Drop that front hip. So your hands are on your hips, and it's dropped down. You now straighten out your arms. So they're not going to be horizontal, but from here, your right hand comes down to your leg wherever it touches. And then inhale. Maybe that left arm can go up. Maybe that right hand can come down a little bit further. Now, you don't want to be twisting. So from here, this might feel like you're going to fall over, but you want your shoulder blades vertical. And it doesn't matter if your hand is on your knee or if it's on the floor, as long as your arm is straight and your shoulder blades are vertical, that's where you want to be. Inhale, rise all the way back up. Rotate your feet to the back of the room. We're going to do the same thing. You can go through the same process. And the way I learned to do it, you do the same thing every time, and then it becomes something you don't have to think about. And during a challenging practice like Ashtanga, once your heart rate starts moving, you don't have time to think. You just have time to do. So from here, drop that left hip, and then begin to tip your triangle. Get your shoulder blades vertical. Maybe you can look up at the ceiling. Or your hand up higher. That way your shoulder blades are vertical. And inhale, come all the way back up. Rotate your body towards the front of the mat again. This time we're going to do a revolved triangle, or I'll show a couple of alternatives. Step that left foot in a little or a lot. Bring your arms up into T. And this time bring your chest right towards the front of the room. It may help, unless you have done it many times, maybe it will help if your toes all face the front. From here, twist to the right, and then begin to come down with that left hand on the outside of your right leg. The right hand can be up or it can be on your hip. And if this is really challenging, maybe just want to reach over and grab onto whatever part of your leg you can get. But keep that front leg straight. This is a hamstring stretch, and it's also glutes. And then inhale, rise all the way back up. Rotate your feet towards the back of the mat. And know that this side may be significantly different. From here, revolve your triangle. Take that right shoulder down. And if this just turns into waterfall, that's fine. 4, 5, inhale, rise all the way back up. Rotate your feet towards the front of the mat. Step forward into Samastitihi. Okay, to make up for the heat that you lost, I'm going to offer another Nam-V. You certainly don't have to do it, but do whatever you want. I don't want to overdo it for you. Inhale, arms overhead. Drop your seat. Exhale, forward fold over straight legs. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step or jump back to plank. Down halfway. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Left foot turns out. We're staying down dog. Inhale, come up to warrior 1. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step back to plank. Down halfway. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. All right, foot turns out. Left comes forward. Inhale, arms up, warrior 2, 1. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step or jump back to plank. Down halfway. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. And pause here for 5 breaths. You can bring your knees down, go into child. And 5, look between your hands. Hop, step, or float to the front of your mat, forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Arms overhead. And hands to Samasthiti. Now we have side angle. So on an exhale, giant step back with your left foot. Right foot faces the front of the mat. Bend that right knee. Bring your arms up into warrior 2. Check out both arms, making sure that they're parallel and level to the floor. On an exhale, bend that right elbow and begin to lower your right forearm onto the middle of your thigh. Lean forward. Keep that knee bent. Maybe the thigh is horizontal. Have that left arm come overhead, reaching for the corner of the wall and ceiling, palm down. Again, your shoulder blades are vertical. And 5, inhale, windmill your arms up, straighten out your legs, turn your feet to the opposite direction. Check out your warrior 2. Bend that left knee. And then on an exhale, come into your version of side angle. Now you can always take that left hand all the way down by your left foot. If your forearm is on your thigh, you can actually use that to get your shoulder blades more vertical, like pushing on your thigh. 5, inhale, rise all the way back up, arms to T. Rotate your feet towards the front of the mat. This time we're going to do a revolved, well, we're going to do prayer twist. So you can bring both feet towards the same end of the mat. Bring your arms up into T, facing the front. Bring your hands to heart center. Rotate to the right. And then exhale that left elbow over your right knee. And again, shoulder blades vertical. 4, 5, release. Inhale, straighten your legs. Rotate your feet to the other side. Adjust your foot rotations. Bring your arms out into T. Hands to heart center. Bend that front knee. And then rotate to the left. Put that right elbow over the left knee. From here, keep that right heel pushing down. You might not be on the floor, that's fine. You want tension there. You want to be stretching your hamstrings, your calves, and your Achilles. And 5, release. Straighten up. Turn towards the front of the mat. Step forward into Samasthiti. An optional vinyasa. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale up halfway, gaze at the horizon. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step or jump back to plank. Down halfway. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. And 5. Look between your hands, hop, step, or float. Front of the mat, forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, arms overhead, and hands to Samasthiti. Next pose is Parivrtta, A, B, C, and D. So from here, giant step back with your left foot again. Bring your hands to your hips. Inhale your chest high, lift your gaze up, and then on an exhale, begin to forward fold, coming over slowly. And if you want to bring your hands to the mat, do so when you need to or want to. Your fingers hopefully will be pointed in the same direction as your toes. And the crown of your head is coming down towards the mat. Make sure you're not cheating with ponytail inflation of your height. In 5, bring your hands to your hips. And then on an inhale, lift up using your legs. Gaze up, chest high. Move your hands towards the back of your pelvis. Draw your elbows toward each other. Inhale, and then exhale, forward fold. Keeping your elbows coming toward each other. And again, the crown of your head is the target to go toward the floor, but that's just the direction. This pose is stretching your thigh muscles, your groins, and your spine. And by drawing your elbows together, it's stretching your upper chest and some of your rotator. 5, an inhale. Rise all the way back up, using your elbows to draw you up. Bring your arms out into T. Bring your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, however you wish. Push your palms away, lift up, and exhale, forward fold. Crown of the head down towards the mat. Four, 5. On your next inhale, rise up using your hands to help pull your chest back up. Bring your arms out into T again. Inhale up, exhale, forward fold. And as you come over, your hands can come down onto your legs, onto your big toes if you can reach them. And then try to draw the crown of your head down one more time. And 5, bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, come all the way back up. You can heel toe your feet together or just hop your feet together. And step to the front of your mat into Tadasana, ready for yet another vinyasa. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step or jump back to plank. Down halfway. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Try letting your chest drop between your shoulders. Maybe your shoulder blades can kiss. Push your heels down. And 5, look between your hands. Hop, step, or float. Front of the mat. Forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Arms overhead. And hands to Samasthiti. Okay, shake that out. Because nobody said how much you liked last week's Matita Paragustasana. Do that again. Okay, that's extended big toe, foot big toe pose. So remember what we did, forward folding, grabbing the big toe. Well, this one is standing and extended, which means your leg's going to be out. So come to Tadasana, spread both all toes, bring them down onto the mat, bring your weight into your left foot, bend your right knee, and bring that foot up, grab onto your toe with your fingers. You can use a strap or a towel, and then bring that right foot out in front, straightish. May never get straight, which is due to your work keeping very tight hamstrings to protect your knees. 4, 5. From here, maybe you can just rotate, bring that leg out to the right, or maybe all you can do is bring that foot out to the right and hold on to the back of your thigh. This is both a balance pose and strength building in that left ankle. 5, release, come back to center, both feet down, step that out. One last one here. This is my particular favorite. Lift and spread your toes again. Bring the weight into your left foot. Lift your right foot up just off the mat. Keep that leg straight and bring that foot up like you're a photograph of an old-fashioned football goal kicker. And 5, exhale, step that out. You can probably feel that on your quads. Those are what my teacher trainer lovingly called your public toilet muscles. Lift and separate your toes again. Bend the left knee, weight into the right foot. Reach for that left big toe. Straighten-ish that left leg out. And 5, maybe you can swing this side out, maybe not. Do your version of the pose. This part of the Olympics isn't until next week. And then release, step that out. Maybe rock your hips from side to side. This is really working on your hip flexors. Okay, from here, hands to hips. Weight into your right foot, lift your left foot up just above the mat. And inhale, bring that leg forward and up. And 5, release, step that out. Come back to Tadasana. We're going to do another vinyasa, and we'll end up after that vinyasa in Dandasana, seated pose. Inhale, arms up overhead, gaze at the ceiling. Exhale, swan dive over, forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step or jump back to plank. Come down halfway. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. And 5. Look between your hands. If you can jump your feet all the way up and through, that's great. If not, you can always just walk your feet through and come to a seated pose. in Tadasana. So your feet are out in front. Most of the time, we're trained to put our feet together. I think hip width apart makes this a little more gracious. Bring your hands next to your hips. Lift your chest high. Gaze at the ceiling, at the wall in front of you. And if you are struggling to get your feet down, just move your hands back a little bit. I'm sorry, your calves down. 4, 5. Inhale, sit up. And exhale, forward fold, reaching for your toes. This is Paragustasana. Hands to feet. Draw your collarbones towards your feet. The crown of your head towards the far wall. And forget about your chin. 5, release, inhale, sit all the way back up. Exhale, forward fold. This time, make a bind around the outsides of your feet. And unlike my yin class where you let gravity do the work, use the strength in your arms to draw your collarbones farther forward. Straighten-ish your tight hamstrings. 4, 5, release, inhale, sit all the way back up. Yeah, I'm going to offer a transition, which is bumping up. So cross your ankles, bring your sit bones in close to your heels close to your sit bones. If you need to extend your arms because they're too short, use blocks. Inhale, bump up. And then push your feet out. This time, let's see, where are we? Okay. Bend your right knee, bring your right sole of your foot to your left inner thigh into Janusasana. Inhale up tall, exhale forward fold over that left leg, reaching for your toes. And again, you're trying to draw your collarbones towards your foot. And at the same time, that right knee is coming down towards the mat. So you're opening up that right hip. And 5, release, inhale, sit all the way back up. Exhale, forward fold. Make a bind across the bottom of your foot for 5 breaths. And notice the difference of this versus the Paragustasana. This is asymmetrical. So you feel it more in one side than the other. 5, release, inhale, sit all the way back up. Now a modification that I've been teaching, this normally comes in standing poses, but we're going to do it here instead. Lift up your right foot, keep that right foot flexed. Bring your right heel into your left hip crease. Now, if your leg doesn't fit there, that's okay. You can bring it down on your thigh or just on top of your other leg. Inhale tall, and then exhale, reach for your left foot. And if there's pain in your right knee, back up. You don't want pain. Maybe flex that right foot just a little bit more. That prevents twisting of the knee. And your knee is not intended to twist. That's how you hurt your ligaments. And 5, release. Sit all the way back up. Let your right leg out to meet the left. Bend your left knee, left sole to the left inner thigh as high as you can get it. Inhale tall and exhale forward fold, reaching for your toes. 3, Draw that right hip back a little bit. And 5, release. Inhale, come all the way back up. Exhale, forward fold right away. Make a bind across the bottom of your foot. Engage your bandhas here. Release, inhale, come all the way back up. Lift up that left foot. Maybe bring your left heel into your hip crease. Inhale tall and exhale forward fold. And if this side doesn't work as well, that's okay. Maybe you have an extra bony foot on this side. Doesn't matter. Do what you can. In 5, release. Inhale, sit back up. Straighten out your both legs. And then for the bump up, cross your ankles, heels close to your sit bones. Inhale, bump up. And then bring your feet forward. Okay, from here, we're going to do Marichi. So bend your right knee. Bring your right heel up close to your right sit bone. This first is a straightforward fold. So you want to be able to get your chest, your shoulder in front of your right knee. Inhale tall, and then exhale forward fold. And maybe you can get that right arm all the way around that right knee, maybe not. This is getting you some more flexibility. 5, release. Inhale, sit all the way back up. This time, just take your left hand all the way around behind your back. Keep your right arm as close to the front of your knee as you can get. Inhale tall. And in all these Marichi twists, the length of your spine dictates how far you can twist. Inhale tall and exhale, twist to the left. Most of your twist comes in your lumbar spine, your lower spine, because your ribs are all attached to your thoracic spine. And 5, release, come all the way back. This time, left hand onto the right knee. Bring your right hand behind your back. Inhale your spine tall, gazing forward still. And then on an exhale, twist to your right. With each exhale, twist a little bit more. Maybe you can drop that right shoulder blade down. Release, come back to center. This time, bend your left knee, left sit bone, left heel next to your right sit bone. Bring your right heel back to where it was. Bring your right hand back behind your back again. Inhale tall, and then twist again to your right. Maybe that left arm comes all the way in front of that right knee, and maybe you can actually make a bind with your right hand behind your back and your left hand across the front of your right knee. I always find even saying that silly. Release, come back to center, bring both legs out to the front, and then bend your left knee, bring your left heel up close to your sit bone. Inhale tall and exhale, forward fold, reaching for your right foot. That left arm can be in front of that left shin. That knee comes into the left armpit, that's great. 4 and 5. Release. Inhale, sit back up. Inhale, tall. Left hand behind your back. And then exhale, twist to your right. And on your next exhale, come back to center. Right hand grabs onto your left knee. Left hand behind your back. Inhale, tall. And then twist to the left. Maybe your right arm can come on top of your left thigh. And 5, release. Come back to center, bend that right knee. Bring the right heel next to your left sit bone. Then your left heel right next to it. Inhale tall, right hand on left knee. Inhale tall, and then twist to your left. Or maybe you can twist a little bit farther. And release. Come back to center. Bring both legs out to the front. Then cross your ankles, bring your heels in towards your sit bones for another bump up. An inhale, bump up. Get your feet out in front. And from here, let's see. Do you want to do a couple of boat poses and then, okay, I see. All I needed was one person. We're going to do 3 boats. Okay, so bring your footprints to the mat, about hip width apart. Grab onto the backs of your thighs. Lean back. That will straighten your spine. And then once you're lean back, lift your legs up. And then you can release your arms. Your palms can be up towards the ceiling. And 5, release, feet down. Maybe rock your hips. This is also working on your hip flexors. Your hip flexors are the main muscles that lift your legs up. So from here, hence flexing your muscles. Lean back, lift your legs up. And if you wish, you can release. You may want to straighten out your legs. Maybe you want to bring your arms out by your side. And 5, release. Come back down, rock a little bit. One more. So start the same way every time. Lean back, your spine is straight. Lift up, and then release. The third way to intensify this is to bring your arms and your legs high. And release. Okay, cross your ankles, bring your heels up close to your sit bones for another bump. Inhale, bump up. Kick out. And then Kanasana. This is where one of my yoga instructors used to say, and the horses see the barn. So bring your soles of your feet together, your heels up, sort of close to your groins. Grab onto your toes, inhale your spine tall. And on an exhale, draw your collarbones towards the front of your mat and the crown of your head towards the far wall. Notice you're not coming down, you're going farther. This should be a pretty intense groin stretch. In 5, release, inhale, come all the way back up. Push your feet out so that you have a rough square between your ankles and your thighs. Inhale, tall. And then on an exhale, forward fold again. You can bring your forearms on the mat underneath your legs if you wish, although that's not necessary. But again, draw your collarbones towards the front of the mat, crown of your head towards the far wall, lengthening your spine. Maybe moon the person behind you and see how much farther you go. Maybe you come down a little bit farther because your pelvis is tilting. Not only is your pelvis tilting, but your sacrum is nutting. That means it's shifting slightly, giving you an extra 1/8 of an inch. And 5, release. Inhale, come all the way back up. Cross your ankles, lift your knees high. One last bump up. On an inhale of your choosing, inhale. Kick your feet out. Okay, now we come to Edmasana. And we have time to get into both sides. So just as a treat, take your side that you're not quite as confident that you can make it with. Bring that heel to your opposite hip crease. And then bend that other knee. So the way I'm doing it here is like this. Now, if you can't do this, that's fine. Just sit with your legs crossed. That is more than adequate. And then maybe, if your hips are open enough, maybe you can lift that other foot up and draw it across your other shin so that your heels are both in your hip crease or close. From here, you can rest your palms on your knees, or you can wrap your hands around behind your back. Your right hand can grab onto your right toes. Your left hand can grab onto your left toes. If I had an extra, if my arms were about 50 inches long, I'd be able to do it. But that's not the point. And that's 5. So release that, unless you don't want to try the other side, and you don't have to. But we're going to stay on the other side for a little bit longer. So release and try to get to the other side. Heel to your hip crease. Lift up. You can see how all the poses in Ashtanga have led to opening up your hips this much. Maybe just reach on top of your hips right now and then feel the muscles that are coming across the top of your pelvis or up to the top of your pelvis. Your hip flexors are really stretched. From here, just hands on your knees for a second, then bring your arms out into T, thumbs down. Bring your arms behind your back. Maybe you can make a mudra, maybe not. Doesn't really matter. I'm just grabbing opposite forearms. Inhale tall, and then over 10 breaths, begin to fold forward. And do it slowly and consciously feel the muscles as one muscle releases and the tension is picked up by the adjacent muscles. And if it begins to hurt, stop. Your knees should not be part of this. And if they are, just back up, just cross your legs. Observe your body. On your next inhale, rise all the way back up. From here, you can do Tadasana if you wish. And that's keeping your legs in lotus, which after so many years not being able to do it at all, it doesn't bother me to stay for a longer period of time, which just I find remarkable. But from here, you can use your blocks or lift your knees high, roll forward, inhale, lifting up, lion's breath. And then come back down when you're ready. The last aspect of this is 10 breaths. So bring your hands out on your knees, palms up. You can make a mudra with your thumb and forefinger if you wish. Inhale your spine tall. If you have one knee that's hanging up, you can always tuck a towel underneath so that it's supported somehow. Inhale in through your nose. Exhale through your nose. For 10 luxurious long breaths. Again, observe your body. And your breath. Begin to deepen your breath. On your next inhale, open your eyes. Carefully give your legs freedom. You may need a lot of help. And slowly walk your legs out towards the front of your mat. Stretch your knees away. Maybe you want to do some windshield wipers or just rotate your femurs in your hip sockets. Come down onto your elbows. All the way down onto your back. Raise your arms up towards the ceiling and then rotate them all the way down onto the mat beyond your head and stretch your heels from your palms, your manicure from your pedicure. Stretch your toes wide, stretch your fingers wide. Then return your arms back down by your sides. Here you can insert any poses that you'd like to do or missed during the class. Otherwise, just come into Shavasana. Your arms out by your side, palms up. Your legs can be far apart or together. Whatever's comfortable for your body right now. Take a deep cleansing breath in through your nose and exhale it out through your nose. Take another cleansing breath in through your nose. Exhale it out through your nose. And take rest. Begin to deepen your breath. Bring your awareness back into your space. Bring movement to your fingers, into your toes, to your wrists, and to your ankles. Gently roll your head from left to right. And when you're ready, walk your footprints up to your sit bones, drawing your knees into your chest, then rock from left to right, massaging your spine. And the next time you come over onto your right side, pause there for just a moment, using your right arm as a pillow, and scan your body. And try to detect if there's any residual stress that you want to address later this week, maybe later today. And then using the strength in your left hand, push the floor away. Come to a seated position. Thank you for sharing your yoga practice with me this morning. Gives me a great feeling of community practicing with you, and really makes this yoga teaching a mission. So thank you for that. Take the peace, the compassion, and the empathy that you practice every time you step on your mat. Take that with you wherever you go and share it with each person you may meet. Namaste. My name is Clint, and this has been Ashtanga Yoga. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for your patience.
You're welcome. By the way, when we were in lotus pose and for 10 breaths, and you were folding forward slowly, I asked you to follow your muscles and how they release. And then again, right at the end in lotus position, when you were in the mudra, your body at that point should have been so tired that was out of the picture. Your mind was in a meditative state. But by directing your attention to the way your body was feeling and the muscles moving, you were a dispassionate observer. And that is the essence of meditation. And I hope that, okay, if you didn't really notice anything different today, maybe you will at some point in the future. But that is the highest level that you can get. So it really brings peace.